Looks like FUT Esports managed to dominate in their first map there on Lotus with a 13-3 victory. Welcome back, everyone. Golden Bay here alongside with Mimi as well as Bala as we break down what we saw in that first map. And, you know, again, just literally what I said at the top. Loved everything that I saw out of FUT. They look drilled, prepared. This team is actually type scary.
Yeah, I love the composition choice that they made heading into this one. I thought they had a fantastic game plan, executed on it well. The coordination was on point, Kiwi was fragging, and I'm pretty sure that Mr. Fallen is the truth. Because this guy was making some great calls, and on top of that, having a fantastic individual performance and playing, I think, really intelligently. The way he was supporting his team with the open smokes throughout that match was great.
Yeah, and also massive credit. I mean, look at this 13-3, but also just literally no fumbles on any of the moments.
Yeah.
You spoke about the comp, and I think, number one, in the offseason, we were seeing a bunch of randomly just not really good comps from footballers, but here you have just good ideas overall. You saw what HyperX did on this map, on the C site, just abusing it. And once you have that defensive side half, I think I was starting to realize, okay, this game is going to be over no matter what, because of walls like this and the idea and game plan that you can come in with on the C site with a Sage. So really, really good play on defense, but also there's no way that was slipping from them on the second half.
Yeah, it wasn't going to happen. And you contrast that with RRQ, and I did not see what they were cooking with this composition. I didn't feel like the Reyna had any value, particularly on that attacking side. They were being opted against, but the Leers weren't really able to break those sight lines and give them too much.
With it.
I mean, it's just like an agent where you have to have the coordination, you have to be trading, you have to be popping off, and that just wasn't really happening.
But it also doesn't help, though, and this actually leads us into our Verizon high-speed moment of the match. It doesn't help when someone like, you know, Mr. Fallen just decides, oh, hey, guys, I'm just going to walk in here and get a 3K. And he does that with the frenzy. I mean, this guy had one heck of a closeout on Lotus Bala.
Yeah, this was disgusting. Obviously, we talked about how it wasn't really going to slip from them. But, yeah, I mean, EJ had himself a good round. And then Mr. Fallen's like, you can do that? Oh, okay, I can do it, too. I can do it better, actually. 1v3.
Even in that moment, you can see some of the things. RRQ has no idea where this player is, and they're kind of looking back and forth trying to figure it out. And they don't find the trade onto him. It's he knows it. He knows how good
I just also love how clean those shots were, right? It was like pace. You don't normally see that. At least when I hold a frenzy, I'm like, you know, just like going all over the place.
Stuff to do.
Yeah, my guys out there just looking absolutely incredible. But we'll continue to go nuts for the FUT Esports guys. That leads us into our Aim Lab shoot around because we're going to be checking in with Kiwi. But let's continue the conversation here, Mimi, because yeah, everything that FUT is doing right now is just chef's kiss.
Yeah, it's working out really well for them. This Neon pick for Kiwi was really great. I kind of want to contrast it to what Cloud9 came out when they were playing that Neon comp, where a lot of it was just kind of like constantly gambiting Celsius' life, constantly sacrificing him, versus for this one, it was so much more varied. We had so many different layers to the way that Kiwi was playing. When we switched the attack, like you were talking about, Ball, the way they used both this Neon and the Sage together for sight hits, it all worked really well.
Yeah, and I think as well, it was fundamental on the Neon, right? It was the basic things, making sure you're breaking up crossfires, dashing through the crossfires, getting and breaking timings. It was those things that were really working well, and they didn't have to go much beyond that. And I honestly think that if you focus on that, you can optimize it to the best of its abilities, and then you can also add that little hot flavor on defense, and you got yourself cooking. Now, going into Pearl, too, I think this is somewhere this could work really well, too.
I agree.
I mean, you have those long sight lines. You also have the space on below that you're going to want to duel down and dash into the back call. So that could be a really big success point here on Pearl, the next map.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of teams, I think, start to move towards the jet compositions on this map. Now the Chambers falling out of prevalence is a solution to be long, but I think there are other ways to solve that area of the map on defense, and the value of Neon on attack is really powerful. And also, it just seems like such a comfortable role for Kiwi. He has played a ton of it over his career in Valorant.
Kiwi had a dynamic game on Lotus, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else we get from him in this series. Now, I do understand that there are going to be some substitutions, or a substitution, excuse me, for our friends over in RRQ, as they're going to be bringing in 2GE. But here's more Kiwi at that game. What really just, it felt as if the man could do no wrong. His crosshair landed on a target, and he hit it. I cannot continue to just go nuts for this player any more so than what we saw in that game.
Yeah, I mean, it was ridiculous out of him. But again, I want to start to think about this second map that's coming up for us in Pearl, because this is going to be a map where RRQ, I'm hoping to see something a little bit more normal. They tried to cook something up with that Reyna. They tried to get a little bit weird, but I feel like you just kind of got to wind things back, focus on the fundamentals a little bit, and I'm hoping maybe don't play two duelists this time.
Yeah, definitely not. And I think the interesting part about this, Mimi, is that Pearl's changing right now.
Yeah.
I mean, this map is somewhere where there's innovation happening, and when you want to go to something more standard, but at the same time, you have to have been working on like a Harbor or something like that, or those Viper comps that are working really well right now, instead of necessarily the fast-paced thing that we just saw in the two duelist comp.
Yeah, and as I had mentioned before as well, 2GE will be coming in as a substitution for EJ on RRQ side. So welcome 2GE to the world stage here as he will look to take on a very game and prepared FUT Esports going into Pearl. And Mimi, I don't know much. I don't know what this means for us here. What should we be expecting from 2GE, and hopefully what could he bring to the table to maybe not bring RRQ and kind of bring them back up into this one?
I think it's probably an agent pool thing. Whatever they've cooked up here, it is 2GE that is going to be feeling more comfortable in the composition. Although, the other thing with substitutions is that it can be difficult. You're coming in, you've already played one map, you haven't had as much time to warm up. It's going to be interesting to see if this works out.
Prime Gaming Agent Select coming up here in just a sec. There it is, the hovers for each player and what we should be expecting to potentially see. Of course, some variety here and there, but yeah, I mean, I think I agree with Vol. Maybe we're going to get just some more standard regular play rather than trying to go off the wall.
Yeah, I mean, so far that's exactly what we're seeing. There's the Jet, not the Neon that we were kind of talking about because of how good it was on Lotus. But this is a standard comp as well. So we have Viper as well on both sides. Astra Viper in that fact, and RRQ's going no duelist.
Yeah, duelist is composition here. They're attacking side. They're going to have to play this in probably a slightly different way than we've seen from the past this tournament with the strong B long holds. It has to rely on that Sage to get spiked down. Scaling together, though, trading is going to be so important with this comp without a dive agent.
Well, let's jump right into map 2 and send it right over to Pankilios. That name works, right? I think.
I like that.
No? Don't judge me.
Sounds like an illness.
Yeah, I don't like it. Not
Oh,
a big
how's your
fan.
Pankilios?
I had it removed actually.
Oh, mine's aching after last night. The drinks. Woof, what can I say? However, we can kind of look at this. Do you know what? I have never been a fan of the substitutions coming in 6-man rosters. I've never really believed in it. I'm actually curious your opinion. If you actually think it's viable. Again, for me, I've come from a totally different game background where it's normally a way to sell off the 6th player, basically.
Right.
But this does seem to have legitimate value to it. But how do you sit on this?
I'm still a little scarred from Lakia DRX or Vision Strikers era, but
Got you.
you know, we'll see how it goes. So
Yeah.
they're bringing in 2GE to be able to play this double controller. And as they were pointing out on the desk, they go from playing double duelist to absolutely none. That puts that much more pressure on Emin here to have a strong performance. We saw a similar thing from Secret on Icebox, and Indy was able to step up. Let's see if Emin can do it. He started off that last map pretty hot with the Reyna. Can he do it now with the KO?
Yeah, Footballist again, though, instantly sitting back into a more passive position to allow the side to be taken. They didn't really stick around long. Again, Moj, what could you have done really with that?
Yeah.
Now, at this point, though, Wall needs to go down, and they need to be able to be dealing with those back lines. They have no one on flank either, so it's only this fight that's in front of us. Working through that initial utility, though, trying to pull everything away from them. Kiwi up for the first challenge, really. Omor is there, and they're just running through the paces here, but there's a lot of utility against them, and RRQ are not falling at this point.
Mr. Fallen stepping in, gets onto the spike, gonna try to hold this one a half. Util now has been
Wait.
burned.
Oh,
There's the
God,
next
thank
bite.
you.
Slipshider will be able to find the kill, and now they're running out of time. Lodge, aware of this, goes sprinting forward, and it's just gonna be a cleanup. Tipital, the only casualty here on the side of RRQ until the spike, of course, explodes and takes down everybody else for the most part. And RRQ will start things off with a nice pistol round win.
And hey, if you're looking at course correcting from map 1, having that Astra, having the Viper here, really strengthening those post plants, that's fantastic. Even Emin, I guess, can just throw in the nade as well if he feels like he can. So again, a couple of things that could potentially course correct the issues from map 1 that we saw very early on. But for RRQ, I want to see them try and continue this, though. Haven't seen them with the upper hand this time. Haven't seen what they're like in that power position. Footballers going to have to work their way back into this one, just sitting down with a Shorty and a Frenzy.
Got one Vandal, triple Bulldog, and a Sheriff here for the set of RRQ, so plenty of firepower. Kiwi with that shorty, as you note. Get himself in the right position at the right timing. Could do a hell of a lot of work, but you could
Look at
see
his stack.
everybody just stacking over towards the B site. That Viper wall maybe making him think that this is going to be the inevitable hit. And that maybe RRQ just want to replicate that last round.
Fallen is trying to puff up that chest, really look more intimidating than he is. As the turret towards A-Long, does have a little bit of util as well towards Art, but again, if they start feeling this out, I just don't want them to leave it too late. If it gets down to those, final couple of seconds, 20 seconds, 50 seconds, I worry. I want to see what the anti-ecos look like for RRQ here. Taking their time through middle, extended default, no aggression, and it's just going to be a gamble sack on the other side.
They're going to start rotating fully off that Prowler, but
man.
now you see the drawback again here from the side of RRQ. Playing the info game really well, and this is something that was completely lacking on the last map.
There's not been any real pressure towards Fallen other than that. Like, surely at one point you're now feeling ridiculous. You're going, my turret got nothing on long. There's no one pushing Art, and it's real quiet in middle. And now the penny will drop. They'll realize, sadly, they went for a gamble. It didn't work out.
First gamble ended up being correct, but they backed off of it. Really good mind games coming through there from the side of RRQ. Let's see what Footballs can try to get done, though, on this retake. Looks like they're widely just going to make the call. Everybody sit back, rush into the spike explosion. Mr. Fallen likely he's going to pull away as well. I thought maybe he would be the only one who goes for this. He's going to at least hold the turret here, try to play up close and take a gun out of somebody's hands. But they don't have to push into him. Flipshider's going to push into him.
They should lose very much it. Yeah, triple swing on it, making no.
Oh, only more.
Oh, only more.
Oh,
It's a bad time.
Is he rushing?
Kiwi. Kiwi was thinking about next round. He was anywhere else, but Football is going to give it up to the spike. It's just fine. RRQ, anti-ecos to now. That's a little, tick in the box, right?
Yeah.
4 alive, didn't rush aside, didn't walk into the stack. Yes, a little bit of a coin flip in that regard. They could have potentially, but as it stands, to our eye test, good enough.
Yeah, solid start. A little funny there from Elmy Moore at the very end, but he was the only one with a Sheriff. Doesn't really mind going down to the spike. He's going to have a purchase regardless going into this third round. And this is where RQ can really build that momentum. I lied. He just still has a Sheriff. Even then, doesn't want to invest more than just that 800.
Fallen, red alert early on. The pressure isn't really slowing down either. They've been showing that they can win this fight pretty cleanly, and the post plants are solid. First time the wall's been challenged early on here. Fallen sticking around longer, actually playing towards the back of sight here. This is a different look.
Forces him off of it. The wall's still so very susceptible to being swarmed. Try to take it down to the back of Halls. And in the blink of an eye, it's just Tepetol left standing. Does get a nice opening kill, but it's going to be Mr. Fallen, who, it sounded the alarms, but responded in kind. We'll go ahead and get Footballs on the board.
Yeah, it took them one real good look towards what that site take towards B was going to be early on, and they found a nice little way to challenge it. Didn't rescind completely back towards Link or Tower this time, or towards Hall. Sitting a little bit towards the back of it, and lovely disruptive work here. Moj quick to it too, didn't leave his buddy out on an island either. Happy to challenge us. No safety in the post plant this time. No ability to really reset to it either. So this is when we ask that pendulum swing right back towards RRQ. Do you run this again? Do you show that your B piece, that B take is still solid, or do you look for maybe a split? A little bit of pressure coming through B Link a little later potentially. Plenty of options for them. I want to see how they adapt and evolve now.
I didn't quite get to see the setup there for 2GE as well, but would have loved, as soon as that first section of that Sage Wall ends up going down, having some of those Nebulas to try to escort them out of that position, but didn't happen.
Oh, they're selling this fight perfectly.
They are. Wall comes up. Fallen swings out. Doesn't see anything, though.
And Fallen noting no push-up is ringing the alarm bell. They had no commitment behind it.
Yeah.
And with Fallen swinging out from the back of Halls, they're so aware, but still, Flipsider with a banging entry, going to be working the way forward a little further. Flipsider is just striding through the site.
The bite going a little bit too deep there, so still playing quite far forward is Kiwi. He's got the dash to the ready, and it looks like he wants the challenge out of this Nebula, but now it's going to be the pit invested as well. Flipsider building that up, and Evan is perfectly poised, watching out that spot. Flipsider running and gunning for a moment, swaps over the Classic and will get shut down, but Evan is there for the follow-up. Now it is just Maj left. And despite not being able to sell that B-side fake, they just...
Flipsider go kill.
Flipsider just shoots him in the face. It doesn't matter.
I mean, it did draw them out of position, right? Like, to I guess, the extent
Initially,
of what
yes.
they wanted, sure, it digs them out of that A site, it pulls them away. It did sell it. Obviously, they didn't fully fall for this. They weren't sitting there clearing. Speaking of clearing, Moj is gone. That is the weapon removed. For standing for RRQ. I wanted to see that next evolution. This was it. Really good leveling up, right? That next layer. They try and sell you what this was meant to be, that B piece, but no, the eventual goal was this. And they were playing deeper in secret. It was way more of a springboard back in towards Sykes. So I'm sure there was that gut-wrenching moment that footballers realized no one's here, and we just pulled the rotations off of A. So again, this is going to shatter the money a little bit for footballers too. I think we've got a hero rifle on Kiwi, so maybe note that going forward.
Bought by out of Captain for him. See how much damage he can get done. Right now it's pushing out, staring up into top mid. Got the creep up and Maj! What is that? Flick finds a second for his troubles. And now Kiwi's gonna go for the push and he's gonna get them both!
I am stunned, dazed, and confused, but
He's got a shorty.
yeah, but
He knows he's close, but he's still gonna challenge it.
oh, what a mistake in the end. It could have been something, but what the hell was that flick?
It was gorgeous.
Give me it again.
Is what it is.
Slow-mo it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just give me something. I cannot go without seeing that again. The first, I was like, oh, that's quite nice. The adjustment? Like, look at this. Yeah, okay.
There's one. Already slim margin. And it's just nasty.
But Kiwi was right there as well. It wasn't just like an isolated attempt with the Sheriff. There was support behind it. There was commitment behind it. And that's a killer for the coach. We talk about how do they look in their anti-ecos. We're finding out more about this, right? We're finding out more and more and more. That was a hero rifle and a couple of Sheriffs.
And it was the Sheriffs that did the majority of the dirty work. If you're RRQ, you can tell they were anticipating that mid-pressure coming out, given that it is that eco round, but you can't really quantify that Maj is just going to do that to you.
Hard to rebound from. A bit of a pace change here. I mean, more going through similar motions, looking to see if they could potentially get the punishment fall in. They have pulled 3 players, but that spike is lingering towards long. It's not particularly committed once again. Now, there's no fake in motion yet. They are falling away from this, maybe looking towards middle. They've got plenty of time still, but yes, running through their utility quite early on for a little bit of this B look. I wonder what the eventual goal is.
Just jiggling for now. Maj keeping an eye. Just leave Elmi more to go ahead. Stick around on this lurk while they try to feel out the rest of the map.
Maybe a double pump, yeah.
Okay, now they're going to start creeping up. Maj getting himself here on the site, gets the read. Looks like Elmimore's just going to try to challenge this one. He does, the pit's down.
Huge pick, and just to confirm that no one else is here, the ult comes through. There's the spike down, so the double fake this time. It's an evolution each time around, but it's still sitting into a retake. Now they've run through a great deal of utility, as have, I guess, Footballists on the other side. But what they do have is the lockdown.
They're already playing so far back, but this is just a guarantee here for the side of Footballists that they can safely get themselves into the side itself and then take the fight over it long. Emin's got a lineup all the way from back in club. They're now going to be let loose. They get the pull out as well. They spot Kiwi for a brief moment. Should know that he's over at the screen side.
Had to respect that now. See the utility combination towards the spike to make this difficult, but the spike is being sat on right now. It's over halfway. Diffuse gets denied, and RRQ making a damn good go of this one. This is lovely to witness. Where was this side on map 1?
I don't know. I can't really quantify it. And it's just so bizarre to see both teams in global esports and now RRQ struggle on their opening map and then come into Pearl and start looking damn good.
I do have to beg the question, though, for Footballists. I want to start seeing them getting proactive to question either these B pieces, right? Like, when's that exploration mission going to start towards A? Yes, we have started seeing the, a little bit of a later default coming out from RRQ. They are still holding towards kind of top mid and lingering around by spawn. It's not like they're leaving it completely absconded of presence, but I do want to see Footballists now trying to regain the information war game.
Well, look at this buy right now.
Jeez.
A Spectre, 2 Sheriffs, and an Op.
That seems perfectly reasonable.
And Bladestorm was at the ready and everything, but Kiwi says, it's not enough firepower for me. He wants to be able to have that to hold down that B long, and RRQ, right now, at least, they are widely ignoring it.
last time around we saw this pretty much disrupted by a Sheriff, so I do want to see what the intention behind this may be.
He's going to go for the challenge. The flash timing is absolutely perfect from MN.
Lovely work between each other, and that's gifted an opportunity. Now they will note the operator, good or bad. They'll find out in just a second.
Is he ready for this close angle?
Oh, flip side, do you get checked on?
He's
going
the
to hear those.
footsteps. He's going to start going for the swing. The dash is out. A little bit of tag damage. Boldly actually repeaks to get the bite across, but the damage is well worth it.
It's all coming his way, and he is very much alone. He's got the biggest gun in the game right now, though. Operator locked in, ready. All the utility coming through. Support does come in, though. Pop of the ult as well. And there's Kiwi gone. Deleted in a second. The site is theirs. The gates are open. The plant's coming in. And they are working this map, Seth.
It is just absolute perfection in this round here from the side of RRQ. Not sure what was going on in Lotus. Everything was completely disjointed. We weren't seeing Util really coupled together. A couple of moments, perhaps, but so far it's been absolutely sublime to watch. And Flipshider spotting Maj, just sends out that bite to further delay. Doesn't want him to get any more value with that Sheriff again. Looks like he's just going to wrap back around, go through water, cut across, and get ready for that spike detonation.
Such good work. I am just blown away by this. This feels irrelevant to outcome here. But they do recover the operator. Well, maybe.
But,
maybe.
No.
Maybe not.
Not at all. He would have eluded the spike explosion, but Flipshider perfectly predicting that they were desperately going to try to get that operator back. Puts himself in position, and they take it away. Now going into this round, the rest of the team on rifles, it's going to be Kiwi who needs to have impact with the Blade Storm.
I want to see if they're willing to challenge the default a little here. Start exploring, try and find some information behind these kind of fakes, these potential site hits, get a little bit of the map space back, because currently as it stands, footballists are being dictated to very well by RRQ. Bear in mind, their site takes, the utility combination work towards the post plants is perfect. Some of the lineups are sweaty as hell. Like, it's all good. I love what I'm seeing, but I really want to see the test from footballists to see how much resolve RRQ have in these approaches.
Nice forward pressure this time from the side of RRQ. Playing up at A initially, but just again, pulling back. But as you're asking for it, you can see it's not really coming through. Football is still very much holding in these back positions. The furthest forward member you have is Mr. Fallen. He's playing just on the corner of B. And that's exactly where the spike is going to be going time and time again.
Yeah, this time, again, enough information, but do they instantly slip back into these deep post plants? So they commit? They absolutely don't. It's a double pump. They're running mad fakes. And this is going to drive footballists mad. This is what's going to absolutely eat away at you.
It's driving me mad. I'm trying to get a read on what the hell they're doing.
But I just want them to take space somewhere. The knife came out towards A, but by this point, it doesn't matter. You can see the take coming out from RRQ is a mile away. Take some of this space back. Post up on these extremities. Kiwi now has an army coming towards him. He's got 4 players, 3 more knives to play with, and has to relinquish any fight on the site.
He's lucky to not get sprayed down there, dashes into the wall. Maj will find Flipshider on that lurk over towards B, so he's not going to be able to get behind them this time around. 2G managed to start things off, but it's a bloody brawl as they try to hold this one out, 2v3.
They want to swing it, or do they hold the temptation? They swing, and there's only so many bullets to play with. This time around, footballers pull off the retake, being at least having that ability to slow down that hit. The double pump wasn't a surprise anymore because we've seen it before. We've seen it over towards the B site now. Gotta say, RRQ are so slippery the way they're playing. But this is why I want footballers to maybe try and get ahead of that a little bit, but that's up to them if they want to work that out, or if they're happy with the coin flip retakes we've been seeing. RRQ have just pumped the brakes though, Seth. They've just gone, okay, first time that we've actually met a bit more resistance. They're starting to get a read on us. Let's just slow it down. Let's work out where we want to take this now.
It does feel like a bit of an overbake here from the side of RRQ in that round. Just consistently trying to play around with these lurks and maybe not necessarily realizing that they had not really displaced Maj at all. Flipshider seems to think that, you know, they had sold it well enough that they were going to be they were going to have that full rotate over. It was a good read from Footballs to go ahead and leave him behind, expecting that Flipshider was going to try to get behind them. So good punish there, and then that double swing through the Astro Wall. It's a bit too wild for my taste.
Yeah, it's fun to watch, I've got to say. again, I'm very familiar with Futbolist. I think a few of us maybe a little more, especially EMEA fans will have seen this roster for quite some time, one of the longest standing cores as well. But for RRQ to come out and look this kind of creative, I like it, looking super slippery in the game. I kind of like the calling. Now, if they can kind of elevate off this now, if they can find that next layer forward, super exciting to watch. I don't mind watching this at all. Very interesting to see what they look like as they're a bit more comfortable. And considering they've got a new player essentially on the roster with this kind of like sixth man coming in, it's actually not terrible. I mean, he's not having the biggest individual impact here, but he's playing the post plants well, he's doing his role. You don't need much more than that. 5 rounds currently for RRQ, Futbolist with 3. Let's see where that pace and that pendulum swings as we go back in.
Flash up, Kiwi pushing forward. Get the dissipate on the Nebula as well, just trying to set up for somebody to be baited in, and there it is, and oh man, nearly gets that collat.
Yeah, Flipsider's down, low on HP, and actually they get down Elmi more, and I'm pretty sure he had the ultimate. The res was there in pocket, so a big pick to be had. Perfect work, and I like seeing that. Finally, the deeper knife coming in, the support allowing someone like Kiwi to actually take that space towards B. Now he can start floating around again. Now they've already started to take a little bit more control of this map.
It just feels like a misread there from the side of RRQ. You hear that flash coming, the Nebula dissipate. You should anticipate that there's going to be that operator right there waiting for you. They still swing out, and they're lucky to not have lost 2 players. The only person who could have saved Flipsider's HP bar is left on the ground. Spike's still going to be sat over towards the B side. Pressure applied, trying to get themselves into art.
But this is all posturing, and look at Futbolist not moving. Yes, they're allowing Kiwi to be fluid, that's fine. We saw how well that worked for him in map 1. On the other side of the map, they're barely peeling away from B. And look at where the spike is. So seeing 2GE here is going to be so indicative that this is not an all-in piece towards A, that Art is not the eventual goal. And Moj holding this angle is invaluable. Now they've got nowhere to be.
But it's happened again. This is exactly what Maj did when he caught Tebatol on that lurk.
13 seconds. The spike can't go to site.
They just have to save.
This is what I wanted to see. Disruptive play early on, and then basically allowing Kiwi free roam. Hey, you've got the player advantage. You can now hold these sides. You don't have to hit those over rotations anymore. And you saw it in perfect picture form. Remember, roll your mind back. Where was Moj sat? Just by the back of B screens, and he had support close by, over by B-Link as well. Yes, even with all that pressure towards Art, they still stuck around. They knew that this could still be all of a fake, and it absolutely was.
Beautifully read and very patiently played. Maj again finding an immense amount of value, just cutting off that flank angle. It's absolutely critical. Let's see though now. RRQ can get themselves back into this one. Football is just 1 round away from tying things up. Given the lead that they had, that is not going to be a comfortable position for RRQ, despite how good they have looked in the previous rounds.
And again, this is the same or similar set piece that they've run a couple of times, where we're seeing that nice flash over towards the extremity on A, trying to at least post up someone to make sure no one walks out. Again, their default's solid. It hasn't been tested too many times towards this extent. We saw the Prowler towards B long, so again, they note that there's going to be pressure there. There was a nice knife invested, but now the clear's through towards middle. So they have to be aware of this. Utility now being cleared through. This should call a player into attention, but the turret's yet to go off either. So they still know that no one's slipped the net, no one's too far ahead. They still have time to adjust around accordingly.
This time, though, Art not really being challenged at all. They don't have anybody watching that position. You see the slow creep up here from Cracks. Now we'll be able to do it. They haven't gotten beyond this point, so now they have to try to clear through him. And that knife,
all this commitment this
everything
time.
he needs to know, and yeah, they're going to continue pushing forward. Prowler again trying to sell something.
It's only the Prowler. That's all it is. It's a close shot. So they still are hyper aware this could be an A piece, and it absolutely is.
There's the rush. They managed to find one, but it's going to be traded back. Had a captain. We'll find Elmi more. Plant getting ready to come down. Multiple people spotted. Emin puts it into his own hands, though. Manages to find 2, and now the plant can come in.
And now the rotations are in. We do actually have a little lurk as well coming out from Tebatol as well. This could be big. Kiwi on the side does get noted, but that doesn't tell how close this man is. And the shot's great from Ivan. What a moment to take on the side to brawl it out. Moj, a 1v3? Not gonna happen. RRQ back in control.
Man, with that performance, what a hold from him. What an entry from him. Being able to shut it down, beating the timing of that trigger pull there from Kiwi. It's outpacing the operator, and that's going to be Futbolist forced to use their first time out in the map.
Obstacle.
They don't want to let this get away from them. They've already given up 6. They want to try to end with 6 themselves.
But I gotta say, to my eye test, RRQ's brawling capability on the sites itself is fantastic.
Yes.
I like the fakes they're trying to pull. Like everything they're actually doing, I genuinely enjoy. Like it doesn't feel like many other teams I've watched where it's this slippery. They're trying so many double fakes, double pumps. They're trying to sell so many different looks, and I'm pretty sure this is why footballists have gone. We need to slow this down.
Yeah,
What the hell are they
let's
doing?
try to crack this nut real quick.
We have
figure out
no
what's happening.
idea what side they're on. And the one big success that kind of broke the trend of rounds in some time for footballists was when they did invest deeper towards the site, or at least further down towards B long, for example, with the Kiwi. So I'd love to see them lean a little back on that, see if they can find a bit more of that. But we are now seeing, it looks like RRQ exploring other options. I think the operator's coming out on Elimor.
You know, but sure. They've been experimenting. I'm right there with you, Lauren. I like the things that they've been showing us. There's been a couple misfires, but I love the ideas that they're playing around with. We'll see how this one goes.
I guess my mind goes to, teams in other games, like Heroic, for example, Super, the fakey boys. You can never pin them down. You never quite know where it's, actually going to end.
Sure.
And now we've seen actually that A hit. We hadn't really seen that before with the committed split through art as well. So it's certainly still working. Football is still trying to work through the intentions here. Now I'm looking at the map and I'm not seeing, they are a little bit further postured up, right? You've got a player sitting a little bit deeper towards art, willing to take a challenge, willing to take a fight between double door. You have the extremities now sitting deeper. We're seeing Kiwi taking a fight. Now we finally see this default tested. That's what I'm all about. That's what I want to be seeing.
Yeah, 2G tagged up just a little bit there. Not anymore though. Heal at the ready. Still hasn't
the
given it to him
angle.
yet.
Tebatal, this angle. Does Kiwi check that deep? Does he even know the timing? That he could have crossed there potentially. They seem very aware of the potential.
Tebatal, ultimate rat player. And when you're going to play like that, you need to know timings. You need to be able to anticipate what your opponent's positions are going to be like. And okay, there's the op. Finding some value.
With the operator.
As a Sage.
But it doesn't even mean that's where they're going to end. You don't know with RRQ.
Yeah.
Oh, Tebatal. Kiwi's going to hit these steps. The Prowler's coming
out.
in. He's ahead of it. Kiwi, great play there to get ahead of the corner. Taking down Tebatal. Now this forces the hand of RRQ. It has to be an AD, surely.
Captain though sat here in the nebula and they are not ready for it. Football is perfectly prepared to get hit. Tries to fake the res.
It's not going to happen.
Can't clear the right side and, well, tries to go for the wall boost. Get some value there on the up. Stare over top of the nebula. Ends up falling. And again, it just feels like maybe slightly overcooked.
It's just that fine line between madness and genius when it comes with RRQ, it feels like. So, again, entering with the operator on Sage through our first man in. Just trade me, boys. It's fine. Don't worry about it. However, we have seen some real glimmers of fantastic looks coming out from RRQ. They've got themselves still at the lead. At worst, it's tied up. That's not a bad half after map 1. You've bounded back here. You put footballers through their paces. We go again. The buy not looking good, though, this time, Seth.
No, it's definitely not. 2 Sheriffs at the ready, but the shot whiffs.
Kiwi
Drops
seems
down,
so much.
Gets the follow-up, though. Doesn't miss twice. That's going to be the res forced out now. Try to give it a second chance. Slow stops him from swinging out that Hall's angle as well. He's just taking some blind shots through this wall. And now the pit comes up.
Yeah, they're trying to brawl, though. Footballers aren't backing away from the site this time. They're still holding half of this ground. Even with that ult in place, they're still finding some casualties. Elimor, Eman, flip side, and Tebatal are still alive. They are dependent
so low
on that ult, but it is certainly not the be-all and end-all. The ult on the other side going to come back in. Mr. Fallen trying to push them out of here.
But they managed to find 2 kills. Evan now getting a 3rd for the team. Stuck, however, in the back. Mr. Fallen pushes out, finds it, and there's the flank. Out of Captain. Trying to go ahead and close this. Flipshider needs to win this one out. Swings on the corner, gets it, but he's down to 20 HP versus Mr. Fallen. The first bite sent in. It lands at his feet, he sprays through, and he'll be able to clutch it. 7-5 and a half RQ. Narrowly in the lead, narrowly coming away with that final round of the half.
I'm enamored by what we are seeing from RRQ. I love it. Slippery as hell, hard to pin down. They go all in and they brawl it out in that round to close out with a Red Bull clutch. That has to feel good for you to go toe-to-toe with someone like Footballist here.
It definitely does. The Kiwi now has to get ready to go onto that attacking side. Needs to have a bit more impact here. We'll see if he's going to be able to get it done. But for now, RRQ looking spicy. They're bringing some great strategies. We'll see if they can get it done. But for now, we'll have the desk break things down.
Well, that was a round that was that we watched, and
In
but
Valorant.
not to like be disparaging at all. By the way, that was just like I came back to it. I was like, what's going on right now? I felt like I was like in a time echo chamber or something like that.
Got a little messy at the end of the half, but we started off the half with RRQ coming in with a really good game plan with the Sage and these post plants, and that's what I want to talk about. Because initially these post plants got pretty well shut down in the first 3 rounds of the game. You can see one of those here where they're putting down that Sage wall and trying to plant this one, and they fully reset, play this mid round instead, and come back through and plant this one in. Actually, I believe this one is a little earlier instead. There were so many of these rounds where they had the fantastic post plants, right? You can see the layering of the utility, Astra pull, you have a Seize combined with its KO molly. So many different pieces to this puzzle, and all of it really well communicated by RRQ. When the utility runs low, they're running through, they're continuing to fight, and they were consistently able to win these. But beyond just the post plants, I think the mid round was a very big part of it.
Yeah, and I think Flipsider was, once he started finding those lurks, that's where it kind of went genius and also madness, which was what Lauren was talking about. It was when Flipsider started finding these B-Link lurks, and I think he was calling a lot of rotations into those post plants that you're talking about that were really, really good. Pressuring B at the start and then going back through into B-Link. Many times you could see ending up towards A. There's so many really, really good things that Flipsider was doing, but I think also FUT started to get a hold of it. I think Mr. Fallon started calling really, really well together, really starting to feel exactly how it was going.
The aggression from Kiwi in those last 2 rounds with the opping picks, it was absolutely pivotal. Now we go into a second half. This could be anyone's game, far closer than map number 1.
Well, look, the score 7-5. I want a map 3. Make it happen, RRQ. That's what I want. I want to see both of these teams go the limit. But FUT did have an answer to try and figure out toward the tail end of the first half. Let's see if they close this out in the second. We'll send it back to our casters.
Thank you. Yeah, 5-7. This is still anyone's game. And
absolutely.
Look, all the maps, all the rounds. Who needs to go home, right? We'll just live here.
Let's just, you know, if the game doesn't end, nobody has to leave. So let's just go to infinite overtime.
That's what I'm saying. But
how long do you think it would take for Riot to just be like, look, actually, we need to just end the game?
We'll find out today.
50 rounds?
We'll find out today. I reckon. It's happening. Who knows?
Well, Flipsider, I don't know what you're doing.
Don't think he does either now.
He just went barreling into the entire team. And Elmi Mort died over at Art.
They're still trying to walk this, and they are backfilling this actually kind of. Yes, Viper, indeed.
What dish is this? What have we cooked up here? Because it doesn't taste very good.
And then find more. Nope. Okay. This has been a weird round. It's been a really strange round, but it's fine. A 1v4. Well, it's done. That's the pistol.
Yeah. Went from being like a Michelin-starred restaurant in the first half, and now it's gone.
It's gone.
The Yelp reviews are tearing them apart. Oh dear. Okay. I'm gonna watch this replay to try to get a sense of what was. Nope. I still can't figure it out.
It's just. Yeah. Just feels like one of those. All right. Shake it off. Weird start. Weird round. Classics for our RRQ. Nothing else. I don't think we're going to see a frenzy. Anything fun? Oh, shorty.
Ah, there we go.
Nope. Nope.
Classic Astra moves.
Yeah. Fun almost got denied, but they do actually still have it, so that's fine.
Okay. Well, they get a multi-man tag here off the knife. Should give them a pretty good idea as to where FUT want to end up here. This defensive Viper wall. It's going to be pushed up now. Spam coming down, and RQ getting a decent sense of what kind of firepower they're facing right now.
Stacks in the right place. See if the classics can be deadly. The high flashes. They've made decent contact here. There's a swing. There's one casualty. Looking for more, though. Can that shorty do anything? Well, the only investment actually does find falling. Shorties are ridiculous.
Yep. A little bit of extra damage dealt here. More around the back is noted. Cracks watching for it. Finds 3 in the round. As that'll go ahead and very swiftly tie things up.
Yeah, all even. 7 apiece now. This is where the game gets a little bit more exciting. I want to see what the buy is from Footballist, though, because they haven't kept it perfectly clean. So, you know, some exceptions here. So, on the other side, this should be the best attempt from RRQ. Want to see how they look now in the driving seat. Hopefully no more of that weird walking up long through smokes.
Yeah.
Dry. But still hero rifle on Kiwi.
Imagine if that was a call, if that was just the players making a call themselves. Ewok will have some words for them the next time out. Their coach. So now they're still trying to play forward. Flash is good. Shadow just has to tuck back here behind Pillar.
How long does he sit on that though? Does it actually get checked?
Just slowly trying to pull back. A little bit of spam. He does successfully make it out. Heal has to be used.
And I think that they were slightly ahead of the timing. Now the wall's there anyway. It's deeper, but it could have been a punish on that potentially. I wonder if they find that timing right. Flip side, getting a little bit more interested. Still noting players by Pillar. Is there a lurk? Is there layers to this? So far, not really. It's a 4-1 split. You can already see RRQ questioning, is this the full intent? But with that wall towards middle, there's nothing to be worried about really in the immediate future.
Timing of this one, though. He's ready for it. Gosh, just on the other side. More will continue to watch for that flank. You can see them kind of spreading back away from B, but now they're going to go ahead and pull the trigger. The dash coming in. Kiwi gets cut down. Him able to find one, but then the Nanoswarm tears him apart.
Chaotic as all hell, but Captain, if he does more damage here, that would be pretty nice to have, not to be. 3 alive for RRQ, going to keep the rifles. They didn't get too threatened in the bonus. They've made it through with at least the bare minimum that I'm happy with to move forward in that. But it was a little bit messy on the side take, but hey, Footballist, mechanically we know they're good. The buyback in is going to have some light armors to this, so it's certainly not good for themselves either. The money, pretty precarious for both sides.
Yeah, anybody who loses this round, whichever team it may be, it's going to have a pretty rough round 17. A little bit still left over there for EMEA as well as 2GE. Could spread some things around, maybe some SMGs, perhaps some Sheriffs. But RRQ, of course, going to be planning to just go ahead and take this one. As Flipshider just looking to try to catch them with this bite, but he's going to eat that flash.
Now he's in.
One, so what? Kill.
Okay, Evan's got his back. He's not alone, but now he's dead and gone. Eman was just about keeping him safe there, because that was on a nice edge for just a moment, but he needs to back away. He can't stick around long anymore.
Still, look at the damage dealt. You've got Kiwi down to 61, 65 there on cracks. You've managed to make it a 1-for-1. The damage on the back end, that's still very favorable to the side of RRQ. As long as they get the right read, they've got this double posture set up here in mid, one at art, one at doors. Seems like they don't want to challenge forward, though, so they will go ahead and play back, allow for footballs to come to them.
Our wall's just about broken, so we'll see Elmore slip away slightly deeper.
Ooh, the timing here.
Yeah.
Backs away right, as he would have had line of sight and could have potentially tagged someone down even lower, if not gotten a kill. Now he's going to try to re-swing. This is where it's more challenging, but he comes away with it.
Yeah, great timing on that. Actually finding how the captain just no man's land. Kiwi tries it, loses it. Elmore is absolutely running him ragged at this point. Spike now lost, slowed in. They can't even get a quick dash out on this one. Can't even grab it and run. Utility now being invested just to hinder any progress. They need to bail out, and it's not happening. RRQ, massive control here.
We're talking about that economy going in around 17, and unfortunately for the side of Footballists, it is them who draw the short straw, so it's going to be the Sheriff investment coming in. Even a couple half armors invested here, as you see Laj buying down 1,200, same for Kiwi. Take a look back, it's just great control there from Elmore. Like after he missed that timing in art, it seemed like maybe he was going to just get pinched from behind, but instead, he completely swings it. And as soon as 2GE gets involved, it's just a wash for Footballist.
That was actually so impressive though to watch.
He's gonna do it again!
Yeah, look at the confidence now brimming. Moj depleted and deleted in the first couple of seconds. A re-challenge, audacious here from Elmore.
Yep, now he's got the slow. We'll just go ahead and back away. Didn't eat any damage there. Kiwi up on top of the wall. Gonna try to use it against him. Spot over top of this nebula, but Elmore is not biting. Comes the push out, little whiffy. Tries to readjust, instead just has to back away.
Oh, they blocked each other, no! And Elmore now goes down as well, fumbling that just a little.
And that's weapons recovered. Now into the hands of Kiwi and Ada Captain. They might just be able to make this thrifty happen. Flash goes out though, and into the meat grinder go the remaining members of Footballist.
That flash was everything, saving them from the rounds going completely to pieces, but already so threatening on either side.
I don't know if you feel the same way, but for me, Emmett, don't play Reyna. Keep playing KO. Yep. I like the KO. It looks very
real
good.
Nice.
It seems like, yeah, his util usage has been fantastic. Just getting that timing, catching everybody, going the swing. I mean, you can see the fans popping off back in Jakarta. And that is going to be the second timeout now burned here from Futbolist, realizing that they are nearly getting pushed into that third map split.
I'll take split. I haven't got to cast it yet.
I haven't cast split in forever now.
Yeah,
at this
give
point.
us some split. That's fine. That's fine. I don't know where to be. Down for that. But the adjustments, even from FUT, I haven't seen them really succeeding enough. I haven't seen many post plants. I haven't seen them cleanly getting towards sites.
Yeah.
The early aggression from RRQ, the willingness to fight from someone like EMEA, for example. And again, just to know, EMEA's only on 10 kills, but the presence alone that he's had through art is massive. Yeah. Even on this half, he has been outstanding. So I just don't see them getting there. So again, Futbolists need to get past that first hurdle still.
Couple ults to work with. They have a Cosmic Divide to try to get themselves safely onto a site. They have the lockdown for the post plant as well. We'll have to just see if they are going to manage to put things together properly to be able to get around win here, stop this momentum, because it's now 3 rounds consecutively from RRQ, winning that bonus and everything since.
3 on the trot. And once again, looks like they're trying to imply this B take. Similar Viper utility. Flipside does like to try and navigate ahead of that though. So willing to fight on this and brave. Ooh. 8 HP. And look how alone he was there. There was no support instantaneously in place. Fortunately falls back. EMEA this time playing towards B Link.
He's such a madman.
But Kiwi's found space here. 2GE, delete it. Kiwi unleashed, and now there's problems.
Yeah, because now...
But look at these two pushed up.
They are. They get the Tink out. That's going to be Maj taken down.
They have
Flash
to
around the corner.
down.
Nightfall even committed.
They have to, because they've got a backline threat. They know there are problems. It's just been dealt with. Kiwi's down. They're winning this out so far still. Slipping away towards the site. They found safety in the timing here. Futbolists are having to re-clear all of this. They do have a lockdown, and that's going to be an issue now for Tebatol.
Decay going to be going away, but there's the res to bring 2G back into this game. Tebatol has to back away, get himself out to safety, and there's the Cosmic Divide as mentioned. Waits it out, lockdown finding no one. Triple approach from Secret at the moment. EMEA gonna swing back around towards Flowers. Those 2G still ready to time this out and go for the approach, and Mr. Fallen gets taken down.
Almost nasty with that operator.
Ooh.
Okay, but there's no more to this. I don't see a way back in. There's so much utility in this post plant. Yeah, already pulling off the spike. What are they meant to do with this one? They don't have vision on it right now. They need to spam away. EMEA just sending in stray bullets here.
And
the
the
defuse,
it
ain't stopping. They're just sitting on this one. RRQ are unrelenting. It's 11 now.
And there's just nothing that he can do. Can't even save the weapon there at the end. As RRQ, they have the perfect setup to prevent that spam through. The wall is in, and even then they break down one segment rather quickly, but they don't get to that second one.
Yeah.
And he's just playing around it to absolute perfection.
It's making me question if the veto was even the right way. Like, are we mislabeled who picked which map?
I often wonder this.
Like, it just feels unreal.
Yeah. And that's the lockdown invested. They are one away from a Blade Storm. They do have that Viper's Pit, but that requires them getting in onto the site.
Oh, Kiwi! You couldn't survive it. There was nothing else to do.
Unreal.
And now RRQ, this is the pressure I wanted to see from Futbolists in that first half. They are turning the screws. They're making it hurt. And now, to re-clear all this space, you've got to invest utility.
Okay.
There's a firing squad on the other side, though. Futbolists find a little bit of spark in them still.
It's a major overstay from 2GE, and now Flipshutter as well. Getting a bit too overconfident. You're this close to the finish line, you do not want to trip.
There.
Right now, it's a lot of pressure on Tebatol. You should hear the rotations there in a moment. They all go ahead, they break silent, they break noise. They start creeping forward.
They checked this, right?
You would think, but you never know, because this map has not gone the way that I thought it would, but there you have it. He's gonna try to wait it out, and they flush him out beautifully.
Really heads up stuff coming out from Futbolists there, actually. Just going through the checklist, making sure no issues. Come on. Gonna need more. That's the first. 30 seconds. He's doing a damn good attempt at this, but that's all it's gonna be. An attempt for now, and a lifeline for Futbolist.
Yeah, holding on to 3 weapons in particular here. A major thing for them. and also not having to expend any of these ultimates that they had racked up. And now, though, looks like we're going to have that final timeout used. So all 4 of them going to be burned here in this map. RRQ, you have to expect that Coach Ewok, seeing those overconfident swings coming in, wants to go ahead and slow things down, calm these players, let them know that they cannot allow this to slip through their fingers.
And I think you were right, though, as well. You don't want to give opportunity to Footballists at this point, because they are still a team. I still feel they're a weirdly momentum-based team and confidence-based team, but you don't want to give them that avenue of approach. You don't want to give them that room to work. You do not want to open that gateway. I think from map 1, I think a little tick in the box, a little bit hesitant for me, but I'll say it. Footballists were able to close out the game quite comfortably.
Yes.
Confidence, didn't make a meal of it. No worries there. They were in the lead, and they were fine with that. I want to see if RRQ can hold to the same standard. Again, 8 rounds is substantially close here. It's not a mile apart. They do have utility. They do have a buy here, so it's, again, they have the ultimates to boot as well. So certainly a harder challenge in that regard, but I'd like to see RRQ continue to try and close out this map that they've had the upper hand in now for quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, oftentimes you see teams maybe get a little bit fried when they do have that map point locked in, because they say, okay, we just need 1 more, and you start taking larger risks in every single round, you let it slip away. They don't have that yet. That's why this course correction, this attempt at a course correction, I should say, is called out by the coach. Let's see if they can make it work, though. That pit still online. Flipshider has not been using it. He has not committed it. Hasn't felt the need.
It's only the first strike back here for Footballists, though, in what's been a drought of rounds. So
there's a pit.
Finally, you called it, had it, didn't decide until this point that it was time to go for it.
Drops it on mid, just trying to make that an unassailable position. But for now, Footballist fully interested in just working their way down towards this A site. Orb could be taken at a captain that would put him 1 away. The plant would go ahead and give him that Cosmic Divide.
Yeah, counter, pop of the ult. Yes, the nade towards the back of the site. But they haven't committed just yet either. Sitting this one out, respecting this enough to delay the piece. There is no luck, there is no flank, but the knife that confirmed that no presence towards B has allowed this rotation. You now have 3, arguably almost 4 players very present towards A. The Prowler sees nothing in middle, they know it's going to be all in, but straight away Kiwi is the tip of the spear and he's found success. 2GE is now isolated, has to play his life. Tepatol is there though.
Swing on the corner, finds the kill. Yeah, I like the patient play there from the side of Footballist, just waiting out that null command. Now they go in, they pop their own. The pit comes in from Maj. Maj out around the corner. 2GE just doesn't even know that there's 2 players in front of him. Tepatol continuing to try to work his way in, but this just became so much more difficult. Push around the back. Only more will be able to find 1, but unfortunately for him, it's not the Viper.
1v2, flip side up. Captain and Kiwi on the other side, 1 towards pit. One watching this cross through. Flipside seems all too aware of that positioning coming out from Kiwi, but can he find the fight towards pit? It's the first port of call, and the shots are coming in, but he's got to make his move. He's got 1, he needs a second, and he needs it now! He needed 30 seconds to go at this point! Lost and confused. Footballist find another round.
Dragging this one back, but it was definitely a painful way to make that win happen. Everybody losing their weapons on both sides, but still, economy-wise, it's very much in the favor of Footballist. Yeah. Everybody going to be coming away with a rifle here, aside from Kiwi, who still has that ult ready to go, and it's just cracks with that half armor.
I'm worried about the ults as well. Elmimore pretty far away, 4. Tepatol 3. Obviously, Iman popped theirs. Flipsider a mile off. Yes, 2G's got it, but on the other side, you've still got some really impactful ultimates to bring into play. Early knife. Invested. Going to find 1. Kiwi might try and backfill a little bit of this space. Yeah, really wants to highly prioritize this art spacing. Force the players deeper. We're seeing a real dedicated default and potentially a fight towards B long as well. See if Captain's patience pays. Elmimore willing to challenge. We've seen the operator in his hands. You can see what he can do with it. Yep. This time around, obviously, not the case, just the sheriff, but still willing to fight.
Flash over the top as they push mid doors. M-Men just backing away. Joins in on the site and Flipshider. This forward lurk.
That's a rifle recovered.
And it is.
Big. 2G now has a weapon to hand, but that is a damn clean pick. Elmimore is just annihilated. But there are bodies on this site. Neither of them do have the weaponry, though. I think it's Tepatol with the judge overwhelmed. Iman has yet to really show his position, though.
I mean, he knows that he needs to try to
keep this in mind.
He knows he needs to try to get into the site because he has that judge, but he's just a little bit too late, and oh, it's a little bit too whippy. And Emmet now being pushed on, somehow gets Maj.
But the two heavy hitters, the two rifles that were found, have finally made it towards the side. Flipsider now, up towards the top, gonna make the plant a problem. Spots out the second player. Flipsider knows where these two players reside, and they're trying to double face him, give him no chances in this.
Spots him down below. Comes out just to prevent any added utility being found here. Flipsider has his work cut out for him.
The reposition out of Captain. He's holding just a nasty angle that can't be easily cleared. They're going to make him have to drop. Make noise. Make it obvious. And just toy with him now. This is excruciating.
Yeah, I mean, Crack's not even going for the counter swing. Just tucks back behind the box. And there it is, the easy pick-off. They clean it up. And now Footballs are just one round away from being able to close, or tie this up, I should say. I'm getting ahead of myself. But still, good damage dealt in an eco from the side of RRQ. Certainly not out of this yet as they go ahead and get rifles back into their hands.
Yeah, you saw it there. There was that little bit of threat starting to build. There's still a chance in this. They just, you know, get back to business, but 3 consecutive rounds now for Football. It scares me. It makes me nervous. They have run through some of those ults that we noted. Fallen 3 away, the others quite far off, and now RRQ on the verge of getting theirs back into business. That could be huge for them. Potentially round changing at some of the most critical rounds. Wall towards double door. Army more. Does he have the patience and discipline to not overpeak this? So you could see that consideration. And once again, the default with that starting exploration mission coming out from Kiwi.
I mean, at this point, you should know that he is just going to be riding that wall. I would have loved to see any kind of spray through, just try to get that wall bang attempt, but they don't go for it. They want to make the noise, but now they've been spotted. Tabitol flush forward, and now he's in a rock and a hard place. They absolutely grind him in the dust.
That's so sick. Baiting him in, keeping him there, the temptation calling, but Football is knocking on the door now. But, excuse me, 2GE, were you... Who was the imposter on the site? Just, what was that?
He's trying to wait it out, stuck inside of the smoke, but eventually they must have seen a gun barrel or something because they find him. Kiwi going for the push.
Nice.
Crispy shot there from Elmi Moore. A second one as well.
Okay.
You got 3 more of those?
Yeah, because Flipsider, he ain't coming.
No.
Flipsider's in the next round with that rifle. Elmi Moore, though, got to say, mechanically, a little bit of a standout to me so far, just from the games we've been seeing.
He's wild, but he is nailing some of these shots. It will just be that back away and save, and this is not a feel-good moment at all for the side of RRQ, having to give up on this round, allowing Footballs to tie you at 11-11, where it was looking so very good just a couple rounds ago. RRQ now very much in danger of letting this map slip from their grasp.
This could be heartbreaking. 4 rounds back-to-back in the money. When do they go for it? What do they go for it with? Again, the ultimate's just on the verge. Tabitol 1 away. Elmimore 1 away. Flipsider 3, not a million miles out of reality, but they're buying with this. The Stinger's going to come out. The Judge is there, a Bulldog. Utility aplenty. And we go back to what some of the early rounds looked like. We see the Viper utility going to go down towards long to facilitate that cross, to imply that B pressure's coming. They started to toy with that concept, and then, you know, someone like Flipsider got ahead of it to ensure that no one was actually working behind it. So I don't think that's having the intended effect they want, but actually protocol list now seems to include that Flipsider has been challenging this side.
Again on an island. He's not able to find the kill. He puts some damage down on the Kiwi, but they just double swing him, and he doesn't know which way to look. That's a fantastic start here for Footballist. The overconfidence, just again, comes up for them. A great swing on the corner. Elmi Moore, he's good for the 1, but then gets traded, so it's still a man advantage.
And look what they've got left. The Bulldog, the Judge. They're very specialist weapons. It works well here, but very heads-up play. Investing utility to try and clear. Vulnerability, though. Kiwi goes down, instant trade. They do not let that get out of hand this time.
Yeah, not able to try to find that weapon for himself. Instantly gets cut down. As Emmett does arrive, he does find 1, but he's got 11 HP. He's first 2 with a deep plant on the site. And this is looking like RRQ just let it slip away. Fragment into the back, and this would truly be miraculous if he could pull it off. Not a chance in hell.
My heart is breaking for RRQ here. That 12th round has eluded them so often. This is the final attempt at it, right? Tournament life truly now on the line after a quiet map 1 showing us sparks of life in map 2. Us questioning, was this their map choice? And it's faded away. Now the buy comes in, they can afford rifles, yes, but it's got some light armors to this. Yes, they have some utility, but not all, and they do have some ultimates, which is everything to look at. What can they do with this? This is the round that they've been trying to save for, to buy for, to get everything they need.
It's absolutely do or die. Need to take us into overtime and close it from there. Otherwise, it's going to be them heading home. The Res, the Nightfall, the Cosmic Divide, good tools for retaking sites.
And they deep cleared by A. There's no contact on this. There's no contact through towards Art. It looks like a B piece, but without the traditional utility, they're just not rotating players. Now the later wall comes in, now the lockdown comes in, and Flipside is in a world of trouble.
He's getting sucked as well. Yep, just locked in place. The right click is made easy for Kiwi. And yeah, they do have that res. They can bring him back in, but they have to get in the holes, and there is 3 players sat there right now, Lauren.
Okay, Divide comes in. Prowler goes through, Nightfall coming. Iman is the first one in, really willing to challenge, but Footballers, they have him back towards long. They're brawling out. The nade's gonna find 2. It's a 1v1! Moj closes the account, and RRQ are left brokenhearted.
So very close at the end, an absolute brawl. But as soon as it gets down to that 1v1, Maj is left standing, and he puts them down. And unfortunately for RRQ, I think they're going to be kicking themselves on the flight back home. We were so damn close.
Yep.
But 6 rounds in a row given up to allow for Footballs to retake this. Great perseverance from them.
And again, bigger picture here, Footballist in the past, when they got met with a problem, they found it hard to adapt sometimes. They'd kind of get stuck in a rut. This time showing they have that resolve, that resilience you were noting. I just can't believe that for RRQ, that run got halted. I thought we were going to a third. I was excited for Split. Looking forward to see what they had in mind, but it wasn't to be.
It's an unfortunate ending here, but widely, I think that RRQ are going to be happy with the experience, just given the number of rookies that they have on this team. 2 veterans from Boom Esports guiding them in, also getting their sub player a bit of additional time on stage and get ready ahead of the Pacific bracket. I mean, this is a roster that going into this RRQ, the ownership group, I've met with them. They said, yeah, we know that there's going to be a development process.
Yeah.
We don't expect to go to lock-in and be able to win it. If we get some matches under our belt, that's great. We want experience for our players, and that's certainly what they got.
Yeah, you're on the money there. They got what they needed in the form of experience. But on the other side, it is a re-showing, a reappearance, a rekindling of form for Footballist in my mind. We have not seen a side look this robust, have that resilience, have that structure on map 1. This is incredibly good for the Footballist side, for the Turkish fans. These guys fought damn hard. This is arguably one of the better performances I've seen from them in some time.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a huge win just for Turkish Valorant as well. We had BBL here, had a really rough draw, having to go up against DRX, still made the Korean gods bleed, and now we have Footballers being able to advance through to the next round. So that's got to be a damn good feeling from them. A little bit shaky, of course, here on this second map. First one, though, very, very clean, and they still had the wherewithal to be able to run this back and get the 2-0 win.
Yeah, overall, I think actually quite impressed with both. A better quality game than it could have been touted as. I know a lot of people were doubting the quality of that head-to-head.
Considering how it started, this did end up being a hell of a lot better.
And I'm quite happy with it. I'm quite happy with what we saw, but for now, I do want to know the MVP. Anyone stand out to you in particular that you'd like to note in this one? A couple of names, maybe?
I mean, yeah, right there in the middle, Mr. Fallen. I think he had a hell of a lot of impact. Just the way that he was guiding this team and just coming up with so many multi-frags for his squad was very impressive to see. So that would be my shout, but not really a bad option on your screen right there. Kiwi as well, some really good firepower.
Kiwi map 1, stunning. Map 2, decent approach, best he could achieve, really. Honestly, loved it. Love those choices. Have your thoughts put through to us. We always love to hear from you. But that is it from Game 2, but there is still more games coming up, so do not go too far away.
Before we begin, we wanted to pay our respects to all those impacted by Turkey as well as Syria and the earthquake with a moment of silence. Thank you so much, and thank you to RRQ for taking the time to be able to sit back and reflect on this moment alongside their brethren from Turkey.
Spam comes in, they're looking to try and offset the timing here, playing back in ahead of this. Spike Solar down, the perfect flash! Great work from Krax. V2, so much pressure, give them that gateway, that slither of hope. The first for the ultimate back, Kiwi! Keeps footballers heading for success. Oh, no, this is insane. I thought Moj had lagged out or something. He's a mile away over towards A, and Fallen is putting up numbers. Unbelievable round to close it down on. I am mind blown by footballists right now.
Kiwi at the end of that game said, unlimited power.
Right, getting ready to come down. Multiple people spotted. Vince puts it into his own hands, so.
Moj, a 1v3? Not gonna happen. RRQ back in control.
Hey. A little bit of extra damage dealt here. More around the back is noted. Max watching for it, finds 3 in the round.
He's got one. He needs a second, and he needs it now. He needed 30 seconds ago at this point. Lost and confused. The first one in, really willing to challenge, but footballers, they have him back towards long. They're brawling out. The nade's gonna find 2. It's a 1v1. Moj closes the account, and RRQ are left brokenhearted.
That was the Prime Gaming post-match highlights there. Obviously, heartbreak for RRQ, but it is a new day. Yes, it is for our friends over at FUT Esports, who managed to pick up a massive win there, closing out the series 2-0. Mimi, I'm very excited that this FUT team managed to came out here and really dug deep to pull away with that victory, because it was looking a little dangerous at some points.
Yeah, it was looking dangerous, and it's good to see after quite a while a Turkish team taking a win in an international event. That's pretty awesome. And on top of that, I felt like, well, it took them quite a while to adapt in that second half. Once they figured out RRQ, the comeback was consistent. It was good. They just had to slow things down, work on re-clearing space, and having some fantastic individual performances from Kiwi on these executes. It was just nice stuff once they got used to the map. But RRQ, I mean, that has got to be a heartbreaker. And I mean, Ball, I feel like a lot of it was just them kind of losing to themselves.
Yeah, I mean, on that defensive side, it was really, really tough for them to find any value out of it. I mean, their game plan on attack was so clear, right? And then they did find some confidence. I thought maybe they were going to be able to walk away with the game. I mean, Elmimore on this anti-eco goes on top of his wall, swings immediately. But it started to get repetitive, even though this anti-eco goes really well and they end up pinching all of FUT inside of sewers. The follow-up rounds is what really concerned me here. He goes up on his wall again with another player as well in Sabato, and it's just not as good. 2G, excuse me. And the way that FUT is playing as well on these mid-rounds, look at this molly. Both mollies go in, and I don't even know how they had the information that he was there in the first place, but I think it's just a read of how RRQ's game plan was going that entire time, just pushing up B-long so frequently.
And they had a lot of really good util usage on the side of FUT Esports. On these executes, they had a lot of molly lineups to clear common angles. The B exec, they would kind of combo the molly towards spawn to stop players from running out on them. Overall, I think that, again, well, it took them a while to warm up into that half. Football's had a solid game plan going in. It just took them a bit to implement it.
Yeah, that is the thing, though, that I really did like from FUT was the utility usage. I felt was, you know, pointed. It was, they knew what they wanted to do with it. They weren't wasting it away. Yeah. And I think that, you know, going into the later rounds in this tournament, the competition is only going to get more and more challenging. You have to have those fundamentals in place. Yeah,
absolutely. And I got to give props as well to Ada Captain on some of those anchors, at least in the first half. Yeah. Doing a really good job, at least solidifying and forcing RRQ towards a game plan that maybe they were a little less comfortable with.
Well, folks, you know, before the break, as always, we asked you guys to vote for the player of the match. Polls are closed. I don't know why I stumbled on that one, but it's been a long day, and I'm a little hot right now. I'm a little verklempt. Anyway, it's going to be Kiwi who ends up walking away with the win there for the match MVP. I think we were just going so crazy for Kiwi the entire time that it just carried on. The good vibes carried on through each game there, Mimi.
Yeah, fantastic map number 1. Map number 2 as well. Started strong on the defense. He was a big part of the comeback in the second half, but I almost feel like Mr. Fallen should have won this
I was going to make a joke saying that Mr. Fallen was robbed.
Yeah, he was so good individually. His support for his teammates were really good. And I felt like the mid-round calls were stellar across the board for him. Yeah. We've talked a lot this tournament about the lack of IGLs in Turkey, and it feels like Mr. Fallen is the guy who is looking to break that gap.
Sure, and I think his Lotus performance definitely was really good. I think it was a little bit harder for him to find value outside of his IGLing on Pearl because of the comp that they're playing. They had 2 controllers already. He's not going to have as much impact lurking with that amount of just people who want to lurk. And in general as well, the way that RRQ was kind of attacking is tough.
All that told me is that even though Achilleos told everyone to vote for Mr. Fallen, he has 0 clout. That is basically what I've taken from this. But of course, folks.
Who, Mr. Fallen or Achilleos?
Achilleos.
Oh. I don't know which is worse.
No, Mr. Fallen has a lot of clout. Yes. That guy is good. But folks, unfortunately, that means we have to say goodbye to RRQ, another team that takes an exit here on the world stage of VCT LOCK. And coming into this one, we didn't really know what we were going to get. We were getting elements of Boom. We were getting some fresh looks from this team. But I will say, Mimi, I am happy for this squad. I think they showed us a little bit more than what we were all expecting and turned that matchup into a very exciting one in the end.
Yeah, they missed the mark on map number 1, but in map number 2, I thought the game plan was sound. They were very strong on that attacking side. They started strong on the defense as well. There's still some issues. There's still work that needs to be done, but in the future, in Pacific, I think this team, for me, I think they show more potential than either of the previous teams that got built together to make this did.
Yeah, you know, I'll be honest. I did think that this team was going to be the worst in the partnership system. And I think today they showed that that's not necessarily going to be the case when we get to the Pacific. I think they showed some chops. And I also like the approach that they kind of had. I'm not a big fan of the 6-man roster system, but I do like how they worked in the Filipino players as well. Using them, at least on Lotus, as the double duelist, kind of giving them a lot of confidence. And just in general, Iman as well played kind of well.
Well, you know what? We're going to see plenty of them in the Pacific League, and I am excited. But the day belongs to FUT Esports. And for more on that massive W, we have Mr. Fallen standing by with Yinsu for our Verizon post-match interview.
Thank you very much, Golden Boy and the desk. That is right. I am joined by Mr. Fallen right now. Hi, welcome to the stage. Merhaba. Now, I want to quickly talk about that comeback on Pearl. I think going into this tournament, you had a couple of concerns, and I think us as fans as well, regarding the mental fortitude of your team, whether you could mentally stay in a game and be able to close it out and make those comebacks. Why do you think that you were able to do that today? Have you already fixed all of the issues maybe you had before the tournament?
Yeah, we just fixed some issues, of course, but we never played against the Sage on Pearl. Their comp was so sick right now, we just couldn't adapt in first. But in the beginning, attacker side, coach just take a pass. I think it's like a 11-7, I suppose. He just took the pass and give us the gap on the side. So we just used it on the 5 rounds and just win it.
Coach diff.
Yeah, coach diff.
Oh,
yeah,
I like that. I like that, coach diff. Now, with you, this is the first time you've been on a stage at LAN ever. You've never really done this before, but you had a great individual performance. You know, that clutch on Lotus, that little pistol, 1v3 was amazing. How great does it feel to be able to perform on this stage and also do really well and win a game as well?
Well, first, of course, this is my first LAN stage, but I was a little have a headache on the first beginning because of the lights and the stage was, you know, shaking. But I don't know, maybe I just adapt too much in this game, and because my team Misfire was so trying to look cool in the stage right now, we just did our best. That's all.
I mean, your best was definitely good enough, you guys. 2-0, that was a really, really good start. Better start than some other EMEA teams. Of course, your region, EMEA, right now, I think people are a little bit disappointed. Why do you think the EMEA teams are not performing as well as we hoped?
Well, I really don't know what to say, but while we have scrims with the EMEA teams, they were all good. You know, they're just, I don't know, I think we are the worst team maybe. EMEA teams, I'm just going to be respectful. But in here, I don't know, maybe for the single elimination, I don't know, maybe just people just nervous on the game, on the stage, because if you lose here, you just have to wait Berlin, you know? So it's going to be sick. That's why they just lose in the first game.
It is a brutal format. And lastly, very quickly, you get to play the winner of 100 Thieves versus EDG. Who do you want to play against and why?
No, of course, 100 Thieves.
Get your revenge?
Yep.
Yeah.
We will definitely.
I'd like to hear it. Thank you very much, Mr. Farlan, for joining me, and we'll see you in the next round.
Okay, thank you.
Well, Mr. Farlan, he wants to face 100 Thieves. He's going to find out soon, because when we come back from this break, they're going to be taking the stage against EDG.